May 25th, the time is 7:55 a.m. and here's what I'm looking at this morning. Starting with the MES, again, this is from yesterday. I did take the midpoint for a scalp, in addition to a few other trades, the MNQ, MYM. Actually, the trigger was the MYM, and I took the other indices with it. As for today, the midpoint is really no longer working. As I said, it works only a couple of times, and it seems that it's done its job a few times in here, once, twice, three times. Nothing in here now. It's no longer really working that much. The other setup I took off the YM R1, and I sold in here and bottom back, if I remember right. So there's nothing setting up really. I'm looking for either a sell in here, which I prefer to do, or buy down here. MNQ, we hit the midpoint overnight, which again I would longer take. It had worked. It didn't work really early on, but it worked maybe once, twice for a little bit. But I don't think it's working anymore. So nothing in the MNQ unless we go down here and I buy it. M2K, absolutely nothing. MYM, we had. That's the trigger that I did yesterday, and I sold in here, and I added the MNQ, MES, and M2Y with it, and bought it back all together for a couple of $100. But if I had, let's say I had taken the MYM yesterday and I shorted it and wanted a bigger target, I could have held this overnight. Not that I wanted to, but I could have held it, and it still would have been okay. Would have had a chance to come back. As we know, a lot of times resistant becomes support, and support becomes resistant. So that's still working. I'm looking at the soybeans, and it's seeing some support at the S1 in here, but there's some news going on. So I'll look at it and see how this bar closes. So this may be a possibility to go along in here. Same thing with the wheat and the corn as well. The corn is to be the one the most extended down, but if we do see S2, I'll take that for sure. This was overnight. I take this one. Well, this was in. Yeah, that would have been a good setup. I'm not really sure what happened. I might have tried it in here yesterday, missed it, and just canceled the order and put it back in again. But that would have been a great setup. So nothing here for me. We are at S1 for the AUD Swiss, and with the Swiss I like to go down to S2 or R2 because the moves tends to be more extreme with the Swiss franc. Nothing on the AUD. I had tried to take a short in here, missed it, then canceled the order, and there was nothing going on after that. AUD New Zealand is at S1, and let's see, that's possibly a good long. Nothing here. Nothing here. This one is at S2, so that's a good setup as well. CAD Swiss, I may take that one. Okay, so I am still short on the Swiss yen from yesterday, and it's still a small draw between draw and break even and small gain. Nothing here. Nothing. The pound, just like the same with the Swiss, I take it with extreme moves. S2 or R2. This one worked out okay, but it's the Swiss pound and it's an S1 only, so yeah, no way. Okay, nothing, nothing. This I'm still holding. It's doing better now. I sold it in here, added to it, and I'm looking for a target in here. Both positions are up slightly, and they're almost there. So hopefully I'll exit that today. I had exited that overnight with an automatic limit. Been short in here. Took a little bit of heat, and my target was in here, and it filled it automatically overnight. So I'm out of that position. I'll go ahead and unmark it. Same thing with the Euro AED. Been short at R2, and the target was here automatically, and it's gone. And the same with the Euro Pound. Been short from here and one up to R2, and target was here, filled automatically overnight. I did take profit. The target was here somewhere, and I noticed the move was a bit overdone, so I didn't want it to snap back, and I went ahead and moved it to, I think, 69 or 68, and target's been filled, so I'm out of this position as well. I do have a short in here. I took a lot of heat, didn't add to it, and now it's a break even. Same thing with the New Zealand. There was some overnight news, I guess, with the New Zealand dollar. And I'm holding the Swiss long. It's not a break even. And this would have worked out okay. This, I don't know why I didn't take this one. That was an S2, and that was yesterday morning. I'm not sure how I missed it. It would have been a nice long for this target. The CAD, nothing, and nothing for the oil, and nothing for the gold. I'm very close to making my target. I'm $50 away, I think, to make my weekly target for the Forex. And I'll just go back and wait for the indices here to set up for something. If I do take any trades or anything updates, I will update again in a few hours. 25th, and the time is 2:20 p.m. And here is how the day unfolded. Started with MES. I had looked at the R1 earlier in the morning, and it was a great setup. I got in short, and somehow I managed to convince myself to get out of it really quickly for a very quick profit. So I was in here and exited in here for a minimum. I could have held through it down to here and been done with the daily goal, but that's not what happened. MNQ did not take anything. The MNQ slid at the midpoint and really didn't do much of anything at this stage, and here I didn't do anything. M2K again, nothing. And MOAM, the same thing. It touched the R2, I took the short, and I just exited early for no reason. I really don't know why. I just saw something I didn't like, or something happened. I just thought it was a strong market and just went ahead and took the profit very early on, or it could have been day made. I'd also looked at S1 for the grains and beans, and did not follow the plan as well. I wanted to go long in here somewhere, 8 a.m. Actually, it was not over here, and I just kept looking at it 8:30 and just didn't take it, and it would have done good. Same thing with the wheat. This would have taken a bit of heat. Well, not really. This is from yesterday. I would have been in here somewhere. this bar somewhere and would have done good. Same thing with the corn. The corn would have taken some heat. It was 8:30. It would have been here. Not a lot actually. I've taken it 8, maybe 7, somewhere in here. I've taken some draw, but not much. I had exited. Let me just go over all of the forex. Nothing here. Nothing. I missed this overnight, and I probably would not taken it anyway. Nothing. 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 This was at S2. Could have taken this a couple of times, but didn't really go much of anywhere. And nothing. No, I'm short here, and I'm still holding it. So yeah, this is the one I was holding. It did a little bit better earlier in the morning, but it's moving up since. Nothing going on with pound Australian dollar. Nothing. This was taken, I guess, in the morning. I think I talked about this already. I took a profit early in the morning on this one manually. Target was here, I think, and I just took it a bit earlier. It's a good exit. This was taken overnight, automatic. I mistaken the euro yen. It worked really well in here. Went back up. Should have taken it in here somewhere. Taken a little draw, but done really well. Made it right to target. This was overnight as well. Overnight. This one I took manually. This target was here. I moved it up and it was a good exit. I just said, okay, let's just try to finish up Forex. And I wasn't quite there yet, and I'm still not there yet. Then this is my target on the. No, I'm not taking anything. Yeah, no, I am. I'm short. Almost made it to target yesterday and just moved way up there. And now it's still at a draw. So this is my short, and this is where I'm at. And this is short. This is a bad bar, so this is the low that we've gotten on this. And I'm still holding the Swiss long at a small draw as well. Yeah, and I missed it. And nothing setting up on the cat. I did exit Snap. I had bought Snap long 200 shares in here and took profit. I also took some calls and exited those in here as well for a little bit of money. AMD, I just exited AMD, and I'll show that I bought it long here and I exited in here somewhere. And it's not a great exit, but it's okay. And nothing else going on in here. Now later on, as we got the news, this is from the morning. We came up back here again, and even though this doesn't show, there was some resistance in here. I took a short a couple of times, I think, from here and bought it back in here for the MES and the MYM, same way. Again, it doesn't show. I took a short in here, and this bar moved up and down, up and down. So it's in here, and I bought it back in here as well. I even think I took the M&Q with it as well. Even though it's in the middle of nowhere, I just took it with the other instruments. So actually, let me show this. Here's what I have. I did take a SPY put before the news, anticipating some sort of news that will sell us off. It was just a wild trade and it didn't work out. This is going to zero. It's expiring today. But here's some of the sells I had here, in here as well, in here. And here's my exit on Snap, close to the highs. And unfortunately, I did not do a great job on the calls for AMD. I exited at 120 something, moved up as high as 179. But I'm up to 65 for the day, decent day. Didn't quite make 300 if it wasn't for this and a few other mistakes. I would have been up 300 for the day. That's it.